As dawn breaks over the Ilva steelworks in southern Italy, Fabio Coccio is heading home. He's just finished a long night shift at one of the most notorious industrial sites in all of Europe. Fabio Coccio races to get home in time to take his 6-year-old daughter to school. It's not an easy life, but here in Taranto, full-time work is hard to find.
Let's start with the fact that here in Taranto there is a lot of unemployment. So you'd have to say a job at Ilva is seen as a lifeline.
What makes working at the steelworks even harder, though, is that Fabio Coccio knows pollution from the plant is slowly killing the people around him.
As a worker, you arrive at a certain point where you can't pretend in front of people. Because I've been to many funerals of friends and people I know, and they're dead because of the pollution caused by the factory.
The pollution is so dangerous, the local College of GPs has warned that children should shower if they've been playing outside. And on the days when the wind blows dust from the giant mounds of coal and iron ore into town, local schools are forced to close.
So on the wind days I see countless coughs, I see countless attacks of asthma. Then children vomit on the streets because there is a strong pungent odor. There are minerals in their throat, in their nose.
The playground at this school has been closed for years. It's where Maria Greco's grandchildren would ordinarily play.
We from Taranto, children, adults, everyone in Taranto, we have been sentenced to death, certain death.
Back at home, Maria Greco's husband, Nunzio, shows us how real the threat is. He washes the dirt off his courtyard and then runs a magnet over it. The whole town is covered in fine metal dust.
I have seen children coming with minerals here in their ears because they walked in the wind, so the minerals are deposited here in their ears.
Official reports have blamed soaring cancer rates on Taranto's industrial pollution, even linking it to the deaths of 386 local residents. Paediatrician Grazia Parisi says the rate of tumours in children is 54% higher in Taranto than the rest of the province.
I have lost children to leukemia, I have lost children to brain tumours, I have lost children to kidney tumours. They are children I remember, children who had these eyes, who had smiles.
The steelworks presents a major dilemma for Taranto because it also keeps as many as 20,000 local families in a job. The economy in southern Italy has been flatlining for so long, it's robbed families of their choices. Youth unemployment in this region last year was almost 60%. When you hear a figure like that, it really helps you to understand why it's been so hard to close down these steelworks. In the most recent Italian elections, Luigi Di Maio, leader of the left-wing Five Star movement, promised to shut down Ilva. while far-right leader Matteo Salvini pledged to keep it open. The election forced the pair into a governing coalition, but gave Matteo Salvini the upper hand. The plant is back in business. Mauro Zaratta is one of many who has vowed to keep fighting for its closure. He lost his son to brain cancer 4 years ago. Lorenzo was only 5 years old when he died.
Lorenzo era un bambino speciale.
He was 18 months old. He came out of a 12-hour operation. And I have a photo of Lorenzo immediately after his operation on his rocking horse in the hospital ward. And he was laughing.
E rideva.
Lorenzo Zaratta was diagnosed with a brain tumour when he was just 3 months old. When his tumour was examined, the doctors were shocked. They found traces of iron, steel, zinc, aluminium and silicon.
He drank milk from his mother. He breathed polluted air. It's the worst possible thing because you have no visible enemy to fight. And in the air around you, there is a cowardly enemy hiding. And it's not fair.
Lorenzo's short life has become a lightning rod of despair and grief in this small town where it seems everyone has lost a loved one. Police and prosecutors have launched multiple corruption investigations into how the plant was allowed to pollute so heavily for so long. The judiciary forced the temporary closure of the steelworks in 2012, and allegations have been made against more than 40 Ilva executives, Environment Agency officials, high-ranking politicians, and even a local priest.
Certainly, we are used to politicians who from one day to the next have dumped legal decrees. They've kept open a factory that the day before the judiciary had seized. So we are accustomed to seeing things that are incredible.
The previous owners of the plant were meant to have spent more than €8 billion on environmental protections, but previous governments have allowed that money instead to be creamed off as profit. What the people of Taranto are asking now is whether the new ruling coalition in Rome will at last step in to protect them.
Is it possible that all those who go to the head of state don't know they are killing us? They know it very well, but they avoid us.
Matteo Salvini didn't agree to an interview with 730, so we chased him down at a campaign event on the other side of the country. The people of Taranto say they're being killed from the emissions of the Ilva steelworks. Why won't you step in to protect them?
We want to combine jobs and development with the protection of health and the environment, so investing billions in the contamination of the soil and the air while also saving jobs, particularly in the south, is absolutely fundamental.
The environmental protections promised by Matteo Salvini aren't required to be fully implemented until 2023.
When you're facing a government that decides to sacrifice an entire city for an economic issue, how are you supposed to feel?
With so many in the town around him dying, Fabio Coccio has no choice but to keep turning up for work. All he and everyone else in this town can do is hope that the next tragedy is not theirs.
In the end, it can happen to anyone, any of us. To a member of your family who can get a tumour or another illness that can be linked to the pollution from the factory.